This is why listening to others is killing your dreams. I started to notice a pattern with the people I surrounded myself with. Whether it was ideas I wanted to share, goals I wanted to execute, or dreams I wanted to bring to fruition, I realized that I got into a pattern of listening to people that don't even do what I want to do. Every time I listened to somebody else's doubt, it slowly dimmed my own vision. And the worst part is, for years I didn't even realize that it was happening to me. The ironic part is, although it's so destructive, they think that they're actually helping. But the reality was, their advice was dressed up as fear. And slowly but surely, like a cancer, it started to grow, spread, and eventually I had to cut it out. Most people don't kill their dream in one blow. They let it bleed out through constant second guessing, feedback loops, and conversations with people who've never built anything. I was one of those people asking for constant validation for people who don't see what I see. But only when I started to listen to myself was I able to get to where I am today. The moment I realized that no one else could hear the calling except for me, that was when I started to evolve as a person and develop everything that I have at this point to create the future that I've always envisioned. What's going on, everybody? We're back, and today we're going to be talking about the 3 important reasons why it's so important to listen to yourself when you want to build the life that you want to live. Number 1 on the list as to why you should listen to yourself is because their vision isn't your vision. I remember when I first had the idea of building an integrated speaker, grinder, and container. Back in 2019, I was living at Tulane University where I was studying marketing and finance, and I was also studying management and psychology. At the same time, I was selling cannabis on the side, I was making music, and I was in an entrepreneurial club. Because of my unique experience, I knew that nobody saw the market fit as to why my idea was something that could be successful, because at the end of the day, most students were either focused on academics, partying, working jobs, or a mixture of all 3. I didn't know how to go across building my idea, but I knew it was something that would be successful. Because of this, I decided to go the unconventional route and pursue the intellectual property side of my invention instead of building the prototype first. It was difficult to find somebody who could draft the initial patent. In the meantime, I was getting market feedback and asking all my friends what they thought of the idea. Most people said something I should work on and they dismissed it. But over time, people saw that it was a viable product invention and decided to give me more advice as to what I should do to go across building it. The advice wasn't about how I should build it, more about what I should do when it's built. They were telling me that I should partner with cannabis companies, only focus on holding the patent so when somebody builds the invention, I could sue them, or just build the company and eventually become acquired by a major multinational corporation. And although all these ideas were really good, I put them into my arsenal of potential options for the success of my product, all of their suggestions began to distract me on what was really important: building the IP and creating the prototype. When I told people that I was looking for a mechanical engineer, they started to second guess me and say, maybe you should ask more people to see if this is a good idea before you pursue it. Or some people just said my approach was completely wrong and I should go the corporate route, wait till I get more experience, and then pursue it in the future. But I always knew that my vision in life was to not go the conventional route. I never wanted to work in corporate America, and I never wanted to be confined by how I should allocate my time based off of an employer. I'd rather work with people than for people. I wanted freedom. I wanted autonomy. And that's just something that I saw that the school system was not teaching students like me. Looking back, I can admit that I didn't see the full picture of what my idea would eventually turn into. But I did know that my vision would lead to my dreams. And if I were to listen to other people, they would distract me from taking action in the short term to create a long-term future that I always desired. The reason why it's so important that I listened to myself at the time was because I knew that my dream was to have freedom when I become older so that I can have the flexibility to do what I want when I want. When I told people this idea, I already saw that there was fear, doubt, and skepticism on why I would even decide to do it so early. But it wasn't their idea to have any rights on what I do with my idea. And it was my vision, not theirs. So whatever I decide to do with my vision, I can do. And because I decided to listen to myself instead of others, I'm living the dream life. At least I tell myself that. It's still hard, but I'm a lot farther than listening to others that didn't see what I see. And that's the most important thing. Believing yourself, not what other people tell you. The second reason why it's so important to listen to yourself over others when trying to be successful is because a lot of people's advice is fear in disguise. Most of the time, people give advice to you based off of their own experiences, not necessarily what's best for you in your situation. Most people don't give advice from a place of possibility. They give advice from a place of projection, protection, or past pain. This is because most people approach life trying to pursue a path of least resistance, especially if you're a creator, an innovator, somebody that wants to do something that's unconventional. We usually choose to go down a path of most resistance. Because we're risk takers, a lot of the advice we'll receive isn't based off of how we can amplify what we're doing, but it's based off of fear, doubt, or overall comfort. If you take advice from somebody like this, even if the advice is from a good place, The advice you receive can derail you and hinder you from reaching the maximum amount of success possible, because fear will eventually creep into your mind, and instead of living on what you will do, it's about what you should have done, what you should do, could do, or would do to avoid failure, not from a place of what can you do to become successful. Currently, for my company Space, surrounded by a lot of people that live their life in a space of fear. They think about what they can lose instead of what they can gain. There's opportunity cost in every decision that we make. What can I gain and what can I lose? And you should always weigh the two options so that you're making an educated decision. But at the same time, if that's all you're being provided, the bad sides and what to consider, when is there ever time to think about what can come if things do work out? I make sure that every day I move proactively, strategically, and relentlessly. But there's a lot of pushback, and these are from stakeholders, a part of my company. Majority of the time when I bring forward-thinking ideas to the table, I'm met with resistance. They say I'm thinking too far ahead, or that I should only focus on the problem ahead of, or I should only think about the problem that we're facing at this moment. The worst thing that I've heard is it's nothing to worry about. I actually listen to people like this. I let their well-intentioned doubt quiet my intuition. The same intuition that brought us into the room together. The same intuition that provided opportunities that nobody else could have seen. But once we start seeing success, that's when fear starts to enter their hearts, and we should be shifting from an abundance mindset where there's plenty of opportunity to a scarcity mindset where we have too much to lose. As a leader, what truly helped me discern what advice is and is not beneficial is to ask those who have actually done it. Tried, failed, and succeeded. I can't listen to people that have fear when it's fear of the unknown, not from experience. Advice should only sharpen my ideas and make sure that I have the best foundation to make the best decisions, not second guess every thought that I have, which could eventually derail our company. What I realize is that if advice dims the clarity of my vision, it's interference. Number 3, as to why it's so important to listen to yourself when you want to be successful, is because eventually if you listen to too many people, you'll begin building their dreams and not your own. When you listen to too many people and the advice that they give, it could eventually change the foundation of what attracted them to you in the first place. Every time you reshape your vision to make other people comfortable, you trade alignment for approval. And eventually, when you look in the mirror, you don't even know who you're doing this for, because it's definitely not for yourself. At a certain point, you can rewire your ideas and make what made your idea unique general. I don't want to change my motivation for creation from innovation to validation. Feedback is good, but if you listen to other people too much, their opinions eventually become filters. Their advice is based off of what is best for themselves, not necessarily the vision that you see for the demographic of people that you want to serve to. At the same time, beyond a company, if you listen to other people and they derail what your true end goal is, it could derail your long-term vision. Eventually, you'll be in a place where you have so much regret because you didn't step in and make the changes on what you believe in most. Over the years of developing Space, a lot of people have told me what I should do. I know what my dreams are, but it wasn't about my dreams. It was about what's profitable and what's going to work. Especially who aren't in the industry that they're talking about serving. We're saying that my smart speaker grinder container should solely dominate the cannabis industry, or should solely market to the music industry. And that was only because it is a model that worked and is something that is predictable and easy to follow. My vision is to build luxury technology. Now, there's a lot of strategic conversation how we can put our product into the right hands, but there's something more than the immediate course of action that is going to be successful, like selling only to the cannabis industry. I built this company so that I could be free. I wanted to move on my own time, be with the people that are most important to me. I want to make sure that money is never going to be a problem, and I want to create value even when I sleep. That's the main motivation as to why I decided to create my company. And from that dream, the vision of Space isn't just a speaker grinder container. I will create different product line extensions. I will create technological hubs for research and development, and I will own my own vertical supply chain. That's my dream. That's my vision. And when I tell people, they tell me to quiet it down. And at first I would do that, but no more. Listening to others diluted what made me excited to wake up in the morning. To some, I'm building a cannabis speaker. Let them believe what they want to believe. But as for me, I want to build the LVMH of Apple products, the company that enhances modern living through state-of-the-art hardware and software products. If I continue to listen to those people, it will never never get there. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you're rooted in your beliefs, because the dream that you want to bring to life is no one else's. And listening to them could alter your dream that brought you to where you are in the first place. The 3 most important things that you should learn from this video as to why it's so important for you to listen to yourself in order to be successful is stop asking people to validate what only you were given. Your vision belongs only to you, because all of the life circumstances and experiences you went through were the reason why the idea came to you in the first place. They can't see what you see, and that's because they were never meant to. Number 2, advice rooted in fear isn't wisdom, it's interference. Even the people that love you the most can give you very limiting advice. If they haven't built what you've built, seen what you've seen, or done what you've done, their advice can only go so far. And a lot of the time, their advice is projection of fear, not a reflection of what's possible. And lastly, when you shape your vision for others' comfort, you trade your alignment for approval. When you pivot your dreams to make others feel comfortable, you lose the essence of what made your idea, vision, or dream powerful in the first place. Protect your blueprint. Don't let others rewrite it, because at the end of the day, they didn't design it. Let me know what stuck out with you most. Till next time, peace.